What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on.
And guys, for today's video I have several news, and I have to admit in advance that not all of them are quite positive for MMTLP community. On top of that, I have to admit that some of this news might be even really bad for some MMTLP community members, but I have to say that I don't have any MMTLP shares and never had. That is why my approach is completely unbiased. That is why I can do these videos on a daily basis, and that is why my view is quite fresh on it. And I don't want to announce all of this news. Just hit the like button and let's move straight to this news. So the first news that I want to cover is this one. Shocking, FINRA files for motion to dismiss. And this news is published on MMTLPresources.com, and let me quote this. I think we all saw this coming. FINRA has absolute immunity, right? Now they have stated it again. In a surprise to no one, FINRA filed for a motion to dismiss the case Intercoastal Waterways LLC versus FINRA, the RICO case. The FinEx tabloid goes through the entire document in their tweet. And here you can see the tweet that was published by Meta News. And Meta News refers to the tweet that was published by the FinEx tabloid. I don't want to dig deeper inside this update. If you want to, you can do it by yourself. But guys, definitely it is not a surprise when FINRA states that they have a total immunity. But let me remind you that it is the RICO case. And one of the main advantages of RICO case is the ability to break through this line of defense of their total immunity. And definitely, I have to admit that we have to wait a little bit longer. We have to see the response from Mark Basile and his law firm. Unfortunately, you know that Mark Basile deleted his Twitter account. That is why we cannot receive this news from the first hands. But nevertheless, we have a lot of people in our community who knows much more than, for example, I know. And that is why, guys, we have to rely on their opinions, and we have to take a closer look on this case in general, because it is one of the most prominent ways to have a resolution in our case in the shortest period of time. So let's move forward. I wanted to begin today's video with this update. Iron Ape wrote this tweet 8 hours ago, and he said, "Come on man, it's been another month. Today is day 575th. Time for action. No more letters, MMTLP. Respond to the letter, Gary. You're a coward." And guys, he refers to the tweet that was published by Representative Ralph Norman on June the 5th, where he wrote a letter to Gary Gensler, and he set up a deadline to make a response for Gary Gensler, and it was June 15th. And guys, more than half a month later the deadline, we still don't have any update from Gary Gensler. And I have to say that unfortunately we haven't have any updates from Representative Ralph Norman in regards to this case. And let me show you that this letter was signed by Ralph Norman and Pete Sessions. And guys, take a look right here. Here is the official Twitter account of Ralph Norman, Representative Ralph Norman, and just recently he published this tweet with the greetings for Independence Day. And let me show you this tweet in details. Here you can see a lot of comments, more than 110 comments. And guys, I have to admit that the majority of them, the vast majority of these tweets, related to MMTLP. That is why, guys, our community is showing to Representative Ralph Norman that he has to make some steps towards the resolution, because I cannot believe that the person who published these greetings, he doesn't read these comments. And guys, the majority of these comments are directly related to our case. And yes, I think he knows everything, but he doesn't have any information that might be publicly disclosed, or he doesn't have any information at all. And this is definitely not the best sign for us. On top of that, Pete Sessions also wrote several recent tweets, and he has less number of comments under this type of tweets. But guys, take a look right here. Again, almost all of these tweets are made by our community members, and Pete Sessions definitely also knows about our case. And I have to admit that Pete Sessions is a more tricky person than, for example, Representative Ralph Norman, because Pete Sessions doesn't have a strict position on our case, and this is also not the best sign. So, but we have to move forward, and let me show you the next update. Let me show you the way how all the short sellers work. Ignatius Van Zyl wrote this tweet, and he added this video about 2 minutes long. Let me show you this in details. So he said, a listed company issues and sell shares on the exchange. 80% of the shares are held by insiders or direct registered and is not available for lending to short sellers. The remaining 20% are held by investors who lend their shares to short sellers. This what happens. And let me show you the structure. So, as you can see, company issues 100 million shares, and the total number of shares is definitely 100 million. It sells its shares to DTCC, and then investors buy all these shares. And from this point, we have 100 million shares which belongs to investors. They lend 20 million shares to short sellers. They deliver these shares. Short sellers sell these shares to the TCC again. And again, investors buy these shares, and these shares were delivered by short sellers. Right here we have short interest 20%, failed to deliver 0, and reported short interest of 20%. But with the second iteration of the same exact scheme, you can see that the total number of shares cleared is 140 million shares. And right here we have a short interest of 40% with the naked shorts of 20 million, because we have second iteration of this scheme. If we make this over and over again, if we do this scheme over and over again, we can add the naked shorts to pretty much infinite number. And this means this system has problems in it by definition. And guys, these problems should be fixed. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. At the very end of this video, you can see this resolution. Only 100 million shares were issued. However, investors paid for and own 180 million shares. The short sellers sold and were paid for 80 million shares, although they never owned any. Failed to deliver is 0, as the same 20 million shares were borrowed, sold, and delivered every time. Reported short interest is 20%, as only 20 million actual shares were sold short. There are 16 million naked shorts in the system, because each of those 20 million shares available to borrow was borrowed and sold 4 times. And guys, it is not the end. If we, let me show you again, these short sellers. If we remove these short sellers from the US territory, and if these short sellers work from abroad, in this case, SEC and FINRA, they don't even know about this activity, because by definition they cannot have an information from the actions that happens overseas. And this is how all the naked shorts work. And that's why, guys, this system needs to be fixed. And I think in our case we have all the chances to do it. On top of that, let me show you this tweet that was published by Scott Trott. And he refers to the tweet that was published by Pro Street Art in regards to the number of shares sold and the short positions. He wrote this: FINRA admitted C. Costas has a great summary of this. And by the way, guys, he added this Twitter account of Costas, but it is not the Costas who wrote this investigation. The real Costas, our Costas, has the Twitter account that is GGKOUL, and you have to keep in mind this difference. So, FINRA admitted they lost track of the account because the shares went overseas or to some other kind of trader. In other words, no 211s, no transparency, money laundering to make a Sinaloa trafficante. Bullish best swag is that the undisclosed brokers were brought in on the grift by pals at FINRA, or at least via some of the more nefarious elements in the MMTLP ecosystem. Short positions could be buried overseas. If FINRA lost 61 million shares from the books, rest assured some poor, unworthy slope in FINRA is going to jail. And any email chain he or she is on will be a third-rail career, wise for anyone in that negative feedback loop in MMTLP. And Scott Roth added this screenshot of the Costas due diligence, and it is pretty much the summary of the most recent violations that was made by FINRA, that was made by SEC, and how the naked shorters are trying to hide their position overseas. And guys, definitely this system is deficient. It has to be fixed. And guys, everyone, literally everyone on the market knows about this system, but no one from authorities want to do anything because they are paid by these naked shorters, and that is why they keep silent. On top of that, guys, let me remind you that if you have any information, and by the way, I covered this tweet that was written by Scott Roth yesterday. If you have any information in regards to the Schwab transactions, and if you have your shares on Charles Schwab, contact him and read this tweet. And this is the request for information that might be very important in Scott Roth's investigation. On top of that, guys, let me show you this. Junk Savvy wrote this tweet just a couple of days ago, and she refers to the tweet that was written by Chat Thakzila Katam. And let me quote this: Gary, you have ignored our veterans and the corruption you are supposed to stop. I can assure you this isn't going away. I also can assure right now very skilled people digging, and I mean digging, into this issue. They are well trained. Have a friend or look up JSOC targeting analyst. Happy 4th of July. And guys, what does it mean JSOC? Let me show you the tweet that was written by Junk Savvy. You messed with the wrong ticker. The MMTLP army is relentless and growing every day. We are not going away. What's the share count, Gary Gensler, SEC and FINRA? Thank you, Chat, for all you and your team are bringing to the fight against financial terrorism. What is JSOC? The Joint Special Operations Command prepares assigned, attached and augmentation forces and, when directed, conducts special operations against threats to protect the homeland and US interests abroad. And guys, these people might even find out the ways how the wrongdoers are trying to hide these short positions overseas. And I think it is another potential path how we can do our own investigation and use this information in the upcoming lawsuits. And guys, in my yesterday's video, I showed you that we have basically two problems. One problem is the potential pump and dump scheme that was implemented by some of the insiders back in 2021 and 2022. And this illegal activity was made against the shareholders back in the days, was made against the traders, I would say, or short-term shareholders. And the second problem is much bigger. It is the illegal using out of MMTLP shares that was implemented back in 2021, at the very beginning of December of 2022, sorry. And guys, the second problem is much bigger, and it affected the original TRCH investors who basically didn't care about the fluctuations in price back in 2022, 2021 or any other days, because they were investing in the TRCH shares in order to receive the main dividends from the Orogrande Basin, from the selling of these properties. And guys, these people who were trapped because of this activity, the number of these people is much bigger, and the damages because of these actions are also much bigger. And this is the crucial point in our case, because the first problem, guys, the first wrongdoers potentially are inside our community. And you might not like Roman Supes or his investigation, but guys, I highly encourage you to read his latest tweets, because in this set of tweets you can find a lot of information that discloses that potentially John Burda, George Palikaras, some members of the board of directors, and even some people from mass media like YouTube as well, were involved in this pump and dump scheme. And you might like it or not, but it is truth, and you have to keep this issue in mind as well, because it is a part of our investigation. But as I already mentioned, this problem will not affect the majority of MMTLP shareholders. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. Trader Zero, who just recently published a tweet in regards to John Burda's activity, and I also read it to you just yesterday. He published this tweet, and it raises another question to the board of directors of MMTLP. Let me quote it for you. This lawyer, who was paid $20,000 per month under the table by Burda to act as a figurehead CEO in this scam shell company called NBH, doesn't think CEO is a position worth including in his resume. Think about that for a minute. I assume he's working feverishly on defending the Masterson Group against the coming SEC compliant and fraud charges that come with it. The Orogrande scam was perpetuated mainly by this crazy old man Masterson and his pie-in-the-sky decades-long dream of finding oil where there isn't any. And guys, this screenshot shows the LinkedIn page of Clifton Dubois, the former CEO of NextBridge Hydrocarbons. And right here in his experience tab folder, you cannot see any mention of NextBridge Hydrocarbons. And this is also quite weird. That is why, guys, we have to take a look on all of the evidence and basically as the MMTLP shareholders, you shouldn't be biased in this case. And if the wrongdoers who made some actions that was the reason of damages to your personal accounts, to your personal money, definitely these people have to answer all of the questions that might be asked. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God